In today's video, I'm going to show you guys how you can replace the factory locks on your Seadoo jet boat, whether it's Speedster, Sportster. I'm pretty sure they're all going to use the same ones. So when I bought the boat, I had the key for obviously for the ignition, but not these little keys here, and these are in the locked position, so I have no way of opening them. I guess nobody's really closed it tight enough to latch it, and luckily from this one, I guess you can probably push it with the screwdriver, but the little one, if I close that, then you have to pretty much break it off to get it in there. And I think that's what somebody did, because these little hinges here, these plastic ones, are snapped clean off. So I had to purchase these new ones, but I didn't want to put on the new hinges because if I were to close this, I wouldn't have no way of getting back into it without the key. So what I found was these locks, and they were like under $15 for the pair, you guys, and they came with the keys. So they are the identical locks. I'm not even really interested in using them to lock them, but just so I have a functioning latch. And they're pretty easy to take apart. So essentially flip this over. You can see this latch is identical and just has this big plastic nut on it. So let's loosen it, test it out, and see how she works. All right, so once you remove that big nut, you're gonna take this out, and this is the factory little bucket here. This is our new one. So you have to depress the little latch part to get this nut off. So that's off. We're gonna take off this little serrated washer here, because we gotta swap out this thing. I guess technically maybe leave it. Let's see how it looks with this one. So this one's like a little hook thing versus a little factory bucket. Let's see which one we like better. Yeah, no, you're definitely gonna need the factory trim piece, so not a big deal. Let's go ahead and pop this off, and then this will go in. There you go, just like factory. And then we're gonna put this back in place, line it up. We'll put this piece back in here. And then we'll reinstall the nut. Look at that, you guys. This is so cool. These things from, I'm sure if you tried to buy them from Seadoo, would probably be $1 million, but these are like $7 or $8 a piece. So we'll line up our latch. Obviously it's gonna be right there. But look at that. We're gonna have a factory one here. So right now it's locked, which I don't really plan on ever locking it, but there we go. Working button. Something so simple, but definitely a requirement if you are like me and you got one that doesn't have any keys. So I'm gonna get this tightened in here, and then I'm gonna replace these two hinges, and then we'll move on. If you guys are in the same boat as me, literally, or no pun intended, you will need some rivets. So these are white head rivets. You can see here, they're 1/8 inch. So, and make sure they're aluminum, because you don't want regular ones and them to corrode. So the new hinge gets riveted to this. So we're gonna do like that, and then we'll be able to test out our latch. But our latch should be good to go, but let me just rivet these new hinges on there. These do have an orientation too, you guys. So there's these holes that run lengthwise. Like the slot goes up and down, and this is side to side. So these ones are mated to the boat. This one is to the hatch, the ones that move this direction. All right, so new hinges are in place. Let's go ahead and let's get this on the boat. So on this side, at least on my boat, is Phillips screws holding it on. So there's some stainless screws. So I'm just gonna go ahead and remove these. Okay, you guys, check it out. So hinges are in place. She latches and works just like it should. So that one works perfect. I'm super happy with that. I'm able to replace my hinges, so that little hatch is back in order, and I can lock it now too. Not that I care to at this point in time, but I at least have keys for it now, and it works as intended. So let's go swap out that one. All right, like 30 seconds later, you guys, now I have a working latch here too. I probably have to adjust this a little bit because somebody might have messed with it, but you can see it push down, latches, and releases. But pretty happy, you guys. Now I've got 2 working compartments. So I will link everything down in the description below, you guys, where you can find the hinges, these 2 latches and get the job done. I couldn't find any alternate source for those 2 expensive hinges, but at least we're able to save money on these latches instead of being robbed. But either way, if you guys enjoyed this, give it a thumbs up, subscribe. Lots of other content for these boats on this channel. Redid all the interior, so I show you guys how to do a full upholstery kit. Also show you guys how to put one of these canvases on top and reuse the factory mounting positions. So you can see here, this is an aftermarket top that was only a few $100s that I modified to work like factory. So lots of stuff on these boats. Also, if you have faulty gauges that aren't working, I'm gonna be tackling those. Stereo upgrades, all sorts of stuff. So stick around, subscribe. We'll see you guys on the next video.